Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, voice girl, and welcome once again to another edition of the Manspace Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, wait, you know what? I've been getting a lot of grief from his one fan who says that I give him such a hard time during the opening. So I'm going to bring him on and let him introduce himself. So take it away, big bro.
Man, how you gonna just put me on spot like that?
It's your time. You can introduce yourself.
It's the big dog, Big Les. How about it? You was waiting on that. That was even worse than a hard time. That was worse.
Oh,
That was worse.
oh.
They all popped their balloons. Oh, I'm going home.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you just lucky, man. You lucky. I kind of like you, and I know this is all in good fun.
Oh my god.
I think I would have kicked you in the kneecap by now if I didn't know you.
But bro, I need to start this off the right way.
Yeah, let's
and jump right into something.
Okay.
Food alert. Food alert. The Manspace Podcast is talking about food again. Food alert. Food alert.
So have you seen this new trend
Mhm.
called the fluffy Coke?
No, what is that?
Okay. So I actually saw this on the news this morning.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to actually try it. And my wife said, okay, she'll try it. And I actually did it for her right before I came upstairs. And she said, yeah, it's pretty good. Right. But I said, I'm going to try it for the Manspace Nation. But this was on the news. So I want to play this for you right now. This is courtesy of WICS ABC 20 out of Springfield, Illinois. And this is Emily Lynch and Kenny Yoakum that's talking. Okay.
All right. Let's listen.
So you need some sort of soda. Diet Coke's my jam. Dr. Pepper for Kenny.
Dr. Pepper today, absolutely.
Some marshmallow cream or marshmallow fluff. A spoon or a spatula. A straw. A cup of ice and a regular cup.
Okay.
All right. So we haven't tried this yet off TikTok.
That is true. This is the first time today. We're excited.
Yes. Honestly, I could just eat the cream by itself.
You might be able to. Sure. I mean, it's definitely pretty delectable. It should be a nice enhancement to what we have going on today as well. Should I mirror you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So we're going to smear it on the inside of our cup so it will touch our soda once we pour that in.
All right.
Okay, looks like the inside of our cups are now smeared with the marshmallow fluff, the cream, and we're going to pour our ice in it.
All right.
That's just going to help keep our drink cold. It's hot. It's July.
Absolutely.
Then we're going to pour our desired soda in there.
Let's go for it.
I am really excited about this.
This is going to be quite the combination. I'm excited.
And the purpose of our straw is because when we stir it together, we want to stir some of the outside, that cream, to kind of mix in there together. It's funny how it already starts to mix because my soda's a lot lighter than what it typically is colored.
And could you use this with maybe any kind of soda? I mean, we have a lot of Mountain Dew fans out there, some root beer fans as well.
You could, and I think if you had a flavored marshmallow cream, you could try like a coconut one.
Oh, yeah.
Or anything different just to kind of jazz it up.
That sounds
or like
fun.
a cherry soda would be good in there.
That would be really good. Nice cherry Pepsi with something like this as well. Kind of get both sides of the spectrum there.
Absolutely.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
You ready to give it a try?
Absolutely. Let's see what we got.
Okay, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, no, this is definitely something that would be nice on the poolside or nice after dinner. This is a nice contrast to typically just having a soda in itself. You could add a little bit more spice, a little bit more flavor on top. So this is a great find, Emily. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you to TikTok, too.
So, The look on your face. So I have my cup here. It's already
Oh Lord.
with
Okay.
marshmallow fluff and got it full of ice here, and I actually got a Coke Zero. I
Okay,
stopped
there you
drinking
go.
soda for a while, so I got a
Yeah,
Coke Zero
that's
that I'm
my
trying it with.
that's my jam right there. Coke
Okay, so
Zeros.
I'm
Okay.
filling this up with the Coke Zero here, and
Mm,
we're gonna be trying this fluffy Coke out.
mm.
Yeah,
I swear you look for these things. I
this
swear
was
they just don't pop up. I
this
don't
was
get this stuff.
this was on the news this morning.
Oh my God. I okay. All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
All right, I'm trying this out. This is really good, bro. Do you like the vanilla Coke?
Nah. That's what that
Okay,
tastes like.
that's what it kind of tastes like to me. It gives that vanilla flavor with the marshmallow fluff, And I think where they messed up is using the marshmallow cream, because there's a difference between
Yeah.
fluff and the cream.
Mhm.
The fluff sticks,
Yeah, for real.
I
Because
think the
it's
cream would
still on the
probably
outside of
dissolve.
your cup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the cream would probably dissolve in there, but this is actually pretty good.
Mm.
I'm not mad at it
It
at all.
probably tastes good with some apple crown royal.
Yeah. It tastes like vanilla ice cream, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It
I
really
like
does taste
vanilla
like,
ice cream, but
yeah.
no, that's too much
I mean,
sugar.
the more
That's
you
that's
the more you
diabetes in the
stir it
cup.
up, yeah, the
Yeah,
more you stir it up. Well, I mean, you got the Coke Zero, so I mean, it kills
yeah,
part of it.
yeah. You're trying to give you something. I get it.
Yeah. But it does, the more you stir it up and the more you get that marshmallow fluff in there,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it does taste just like vanilla ice cream.
Mm. But good job,
This,
bro. Yeah,
this is
I
really
mean,
good.
you
This is
find
really
some
good.
stuff.
TikTok has done something good today.
Well, I will say this: TikTok has a lot of different things on it,
Yeah.
and cooking is one of those things I follow on TikTok
Yes.
because
I
there
follow
are
on
some.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram. I follow all of the cooking stuff on all of my socials because it's interesting to see what some people do they shouldn't do,
Right.
and some people do that really is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, don't cook with your pets. Don't touch your pets,
No.
and then cook your food.
No.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm no fan.
I kind of ignore it on social media because I always think they had to have done a cut somewhere and washed their hands in between. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt.
My mom always said, if I ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
So here you go.
This is quite tasty, bro.
I could tell you in there pretty good.
I think I'm gonna enjoy this for the rest of the show here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you bring the marshmallow fluff upstairs with you too?
I did not bring it upstairs. I made sure that I did not bring that upstairs. I was going to show it off and to make sure that my Space Nation saw that there was actual marshmallow fluff.
Yeah.
And this is like you said, that stuff don't go away. This is from our marshmallow fluff craze when we were doing the fluff.
We were doing the fluff nutters. Oh yeah. That stuff will survive the apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
I swear. It's going radiation don't melt that. Because you ever tried to put it in a microwave, it just get hot. But it's still sticky consistency.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So good job on that one, TikTok.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Back in season 4, episode 198, we had a special guest that joined us. Les, it really doesn't seem like it was that long ago. Episode 198. We're up to episode 214 now, and it's like, man, it didn't seem like it was that long ago, but time flies. But if you haven't heard that episode, go back to the manspacepodcast.com, click on Manspace TV, and you can check out episode 198 with our special guest, James Michels. Well, he's back because at the end of that episode, we extended an offer to him when he came out with his next book that he could come back on the show and promote that book. Well, he is back to promote his latest offering. So, Manspace Nation, please put your hands together for our special guest, Mr. James. Well, gotta get the little bad kids together. Come on. Gotta get the bad kids together. They're coming. Michels.
What's up, James?
Oh,
had to change the venue for a closet because the lights was blinking and the kids were running around. So,
hey, man, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
had to find the sanctuary.
Understood, man. It's been a while since we've had a chance to talk, man. But how things going?
Going great. It has been a few months now.
Yeah.
What was it like in February, March that we did?
Yeah, I think it was early this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, around that time, yeah.
And time flies.
Time flies. I mean, because I was like, man, it only seemed like it's only been a couple of weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And I went back and looked at the episode. I'm like, wait a minute, wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I said, dang, he finished that book already? I was like, okay.
Yeah, kind of. I think I was nearing. Was I nearing the end? I knew I had like less than 200 pages left, and I said, "Come on, let's go ahead and just grind this out."
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So I'm a big book reader, and personally, I'm looking forward to this to reading this book. What information can you tell us about the new book? Like who the main character, what the theme is, and what message you hope to convey with this book.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So this book is called The Melody of Shattered Gold. And it actually takes place about 7 years before the events of the Battle of Johnny Carlo that I believe we had talked about in the last
We talked about that before. Yep.
Yeah. So in the Battle of Johnny Carlo, it's mentioned that years back, the family that he worked with, the Argento crime family, had gone to war with another family called the Oro crime family. So this book centers actually around the Oro crime family, even though Johnny and his best friend Vincent and Aurora and Dominic and Sal, they all have their own cameos in the Melody of Shattered Gold. So what is it about? It centers around this mafia family. It's definitely more mafia centered than the Battle of Johnny Carlo, and it tells the story of Emilio Oro, who is the Don of the family. He runs it with his two younger brothers, Roberto and Giuseppe. Roberto is his underboss. Giuseppe is his consigliere, so like his number 2 and his number 3 guy.
Right.
Roberto has some children. His oldest son, Louis, is the one that they're grooming to eventually head the family. And Oro has always led the family, and Oro will always lead the family. So, Louis is the one. The thing is, Louis is very smart, but he's not, he's yet to really show his ruthless side, per se. He hasn't killed anybody yet, and they want to kind of, they're worried he may not be tough enough to do it. But also they encounter conflict with a Russian organization that they were doing business with, but somebody in the Russian mafia decides that the Italians have kind of had their peak, and now the Russians believe it's their time to take charge. So one of the lieutenants in the organization, without his boss's knowledge, orders a hit on Giuseppe, which causes strife between them. They're trying to avoid a war. Meanwhile, the Argento crime family that the Oros are very close to, headed by Dominic, they start to see this as the opportunity to consolidate power in the mafia so that Dominic can become the boss of bosses. He can control the entire mafia under his iron fist. So you see in the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, by that point, Dominic was already consolidating the other crime organizations to create what would be known as this like uber crime syndicate called simply the Family. This is kind of how he managed to take over the entire mafia.
Gotcha. Sounds exciting.
Yeah. So he sees the Arose as the very old-fashioned, honorable people, but just they're dinosaurs, and he wants, and he feels like in order to evolve that they have to go extinct. But he wants to kind of, so Dominic wants to groom Lewis to actually kind of be subservient to him. So he's got to figure out how to kind of eliminate Lewis's father and his uncles while also keeping Lewis close with him. So, and then, Lewis, of course, he's this young kid. He's in his 20s, very smart kid. Very, he's really trying to prove himself. He's not really like in his father's shadow, but there's such a stark contrast between him and his father, Roberto. You see a lot of their interaction. Roberto is like the boogeyman on the street. He's the one that Emilio used to send out to do the hits. He was the general, the executioner in the field. And even though he knows that Lewis made his choice to be in the mafia, and he knows that Lewis has to become more ruthless, he's really bothered by the fact that Lewis is going to have to really show that he can, that he's willing to kill people.
Yeah, right. It sounds pretty interesting. Without giving away the whole book, Right. It sounds. Yeah, I'm already sitting here like I can't wait.
Without giving away any of the endings. Is there possibilities for some of the characters within this to branch off into their own series? Because that was one of the big things I was kind of concerned with was, okay, where does this fit in the timeline? You said this is, 7 years before the Ballad of Johnny Carlo. So this is kind of in that universe. So it's the prequel. Yes. So do you see that some of the other characters from this could spin off into their own, or will this lead to, okay, we're going back to Johnny Carlo, and then we're going to go, 7 years past Johnny Carlo for the next one?
That's actually very interesting. I have definitely wanted to do more expansions, especially as I'm creating new characters. I think that, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't even want to make people guess about what's going to happen. There's definitely going to be some characters that won't have certain sequels for obvious reasons. That'll become more clear when the book comes out and people read it and says, okay, well, whoever that person is, they're definitely not getting what happened after this book.
Right.
There will be some whacking going along.
Yeah. There's got to be. This is a mafia story, baby. We got to whack some people. Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I would like to definitely Dominic because he's such a prominent character and an antagonist in actually both books. Even back then, he is, he's the most respected man in the mafia. He's in his 80s at this point, or he's in his like late 70s, and Melly Shadow Gold is in his mid 80s in Ballad of Johnny Carlo. Everybody respects him. He's the guy that, while everybody else went down in the 90s, going to prison and whatnot, he survived. He had to make some very hard choices for that to happen. And he's a man of vision. So even though he's so advanced in his age, he's a modern thinker. He knows, he's survived so long. He knows that in order to evolve, you have to change with the times. I would be interested in seeing how he got his start. I'm kind of saying that like I'm not the one writing the book, but
hey, that imagination is going.
Yeah, that's just how the books come to me. I don't know what's going to happen next. I really want to do some sequels with certain characters, especially even from the Ballad of Johnny Carlo. This is actually the second expansion in the universe. In my book,
Mhm.
Life's Dark Corners, one of my collection of short stories, one of the stories in there is about this man, Brutus Claymore, he becomes the right-hand man for Frank Abraham, who's also a prominent figure in that story, and how he becomes the head of New Orleans, the head of the crime in New Orleans. In About Johnny
Mm.
Carlo, Frank Abraham and Brutus are major supporting characters that Johnny aligns with, and that short story, they actually started to run New Orleans. So,
Mm.
but this is the first full novel length expansion of the Johnny Carlo universe.
Got you.
Awesome.
And what's awesome about it is you'll see different sides to Johnny Carlo, to Vincent, to Aurora. It talks about how Johnny and Aurora first met. It's also going to expand on the friendship he has with Vincent. In the Battle of Johnny Carlo, Johnny and Vincent break off their friendship, become enemies at a certain point in the book, about 1/3 into the book, which, in the blurb, he breaks away from the mafia. So it's pretty, I'm not giving too much away. But but this book will more concentrate on that tight friendship that they had. So maybe some people will see it as tragic or, however, but you will see a younger Johnny, a younger Vincent, a younger Aurora who are still kind of learning the ropes of their respective careers, I guess.
Right. I get it. So let me ask you this in this case, right? So since, we know you love all of your books, right? But we really want to know, because we're going to take a break. So I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to think on it for a minute, right? Is that if you could choose one outside of your first book, how would this book rank? What is your favorite book outside of that first book? You don't have to answer it now. I'll give you a second, because you've written a few books now, right? You got a collection of short stories. You got some stuff there.
Yeah. So how does this one going to fit into that whole
how is it?
What in your mind, like, how does this one going to be in that ranking system? Because that the first one is typically your favorite because it's your first one.
It's the first kid.
And when the first kid is always the favorite one.
Well,
the baby
sometimes
the last one. The last one is always the most protected one.
Yeah.
But the first
one
it's always your baby. So
yeah.
Before we go to break, we got to take the moment to tell you about our sponsor. And guys, you already know who it is. It's Manscaped. Manscaped is more than just a razor for your nether regions. Manscaped has more great products like the aloe-infused hydration body wash. And when you pick up the body wash, you got to make sure you get the antibacterial silicone body buffer. It's a new way to power your shower. Its silicone bristles deliver an enhanced lather and exfoliation to help reduce ingrown hairs so that you can reach the next level of clean and confidence. And fellas, you can't just get one for yourself and not your lady too. She'll be glad that you did. And if you didn't know, now you know, you can save 20% off your order and get free shipping with our code TMSP20. That's TMSP20. And with 20% off and free shipping, it's the time to tell that loofah goodbye and get your luxurious lather on with Manscaped's body wash and the body buffer. So head on over to manscaped.com and fill your cart and let them know that the Manspace podcast sent you. And as we always say, don't do it for us, do it for your balls. All right, James. So we're back from the break, and let's see. Do you have an answer for that question that Les asked you right before the break?
I do. I teleported, by the way. So let's see. My favorite. Where does this book rank? I was thinking about that for a minute, and I gotta say, my first book. I know we're not counting it, but my first book is actually not my favorite.
Really? Okay.
Mm.
It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it, but it
Mhm.
was. There was so much I learned that I believe my writing has evolved over time, and that my
Yeah.
books have gotten so much better. So I would actually rank Ice Rising, my debut, as probably the bottom. Now that's not saying it's horrible. It's just that
Mhm.
back then, I didn't really have a clear idea of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and even though that's still true, I still have no idea where my books are going to go. Um, I just my writing has evolved so much. I've learned so much, and then every new book has been a new challenge for me. So I, yeah, I'd have to put that at the bottom number. So then my number five, because I have 5 books published, and then this one will be my sixth. So we'll go I guess we'll go from, if it's all right, we'll go from 6 down to 1 if we have time.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
So number 6 would be Ice Rising. Number 5 would probably be. I would have to say maybe Lifestar Corners, my collection of short
Okay.
stories. And then number 4 would be Ice Box, the sequel to Ice Rising, because that was so profound for me to take my character. It's the first sequel in that series, and
Mhm.
to take my character to evolve him, to create a story that can actually, in a way, not only extends the story, but is actually superior to the first book. Because like I said, you're always trying to do better, keep your
Right.
audience entertained, really kind of push the envelope. And I think I did that very successfully with Icebox. Number 3 would have to be Ice Rain, which was
Okay.
my
Mhm.
newest published. Again, it's another sequel. I really enjoyed that book. And just the way it ended for me, it's like I love the way it ended because it really gives me time to really um, figure out just what's going to happen next.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think it'll really give my readers a good a full trilogy for them to read before the fourth one comes out and totally throws away the trilogy title. Number 2, oh man, we're down to it, aren't we? Which
Yep.
one? Which one do I like better?
I don't know if I have a drum roll sound effect here.
I was about to say, yeah, just put it out there. Rip the Band-Aid off. You know which one.
No,
You
I'm
know
gonna
it.
cheat. No, you know what? Should I cop out and say it's a tie?
Nope. There's no way you could do that.
No ties.
God. All right, then I would have to say, subject to change, Ballad Johnny Carlo would be probably my number 2.
Okay.
Okay.
I enjoyed it so much. It is so well rounded, but I think Melody of Shattered Gold would be my number 1.
Mm.
It's definitely my longest book to date.
Hmm.
And again, it was another challenge to expand on certain characters that some of my readers would already know. Um, and also just, it was such a setting change.
Mm.
In they both have to do with loyalty, but what I like about the Melody of Shattered Gold is that you really see the closeness of family. I think that's one of the biggest themes in this book. You don't just follow Louis Oro or Emilio Oro. You see Roberto, you see Giuseppe, you see Emilio's his relationships with everybody. You see his relationship with his wife Faye. You see his relationship with his nephew, with his brothers. You see the strain that's on him being the boss of his family. They're under
Right.
attack from 2 fronts. Um, a couple. He has to kind of wrangle in everybody, because even though he's a bit of a hothead, he has to, you know, not compared to Roberto, who makes some mistakes, or Lewis, who's making some mistakes, and he has to, you know, just kind of, you know, he's trying to keep everybody close together. You know,
Yeah.
And you see that so well, especially in like the middle of the book, and you see like the family kind of come together, and everybody's just, you see that they all love each other, even though they're all just under this huge pressure. Even when he's feuding with some of his family, you just see that the love is there.
Right.
You see it with Lewis, how him and his father butt heads, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, later on in the book, you know, at first you think, okay, it's father son beef,
Mm-hmm.
but you see that they're both under so much stress. You know, Lewis is trying to prove himself. Roberto's so scared about what might happen to his son.
Right.
You know, you also see how, you know, Roberto is with the rest of his children. You know, he's got, you know, there's even then there's certain strife within the family that's going on. Again, I don't want to give too much away because there's so much going on in this book.
Right.
Yeah. Well, did you put yourself in the place of some of these characters when you wrote the parts?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think probably definitely an Emilio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Emilio, I think if I had to pick a favorite character, Emilio would be my favorite, because he is, you know, he's the head of the family. You know, me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm married with kids, so I'm the head of my family. So
Right.
I can identify now as being a mafia leader, but
I was about to say, be careful here. You never know who's listening.
but right. Uh, but I can identify with the stresses of kind of keeping everybody
Mm,
together,
yeah.
just dealing with the world, trying to keep his family safe and preparing for their future. And even when all these problems are coming, and he's not sure if he's going to be able to really, he's not sure what's going to happen next. You know, he's still
Right.
trying his best every single day. So with him, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, younger me was always trying to write stuff, and I was always the guy that just got the girls. That was always my character. You know, if there was a guy that got the girls, it was based on me.
That's horrible.
You're more of a Johnny then.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh my
Hey, but you know
God.
what? Last time we had you on, we played a little game, and this time we got to play a little game with you again. So a little bit different this time. We did lightning round last time, but this time we're actually going to do the Man Space Game Show. So with the Man Space Game Show, this is a game of higher or lower. And James, you are going to compete against Les. Now, the last two people that competed against each other was a husband and wife. So, and the winner got their foot rubbed, but there will be no foot rubbing in
None.
this one.
0.
It's just some bragging rights. Just bragging rights. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a question. You will choose, it's going to be a survey question of 100 people. Out of that
Mhm.
survey question, you will decide how many people actually did what was asked in that question. Now, the other person will have to guess higher or lower, and whoever gets the first 3 out of 5 correct, the best 3 out of 5 wins, and we're going to go from there. But James, as you are the guest, you will get the first question.
Okay.
So,
Don't fear either. I've been getting my tail kicked in this game. I don't understand. But go ahead.
so we asked 100 people,
Mhm.
and this is perfect for a podcaster right here. Do you like the sound of your own voice? How many
Mm.
said they do like the sound of their own voice?
Mm.
32.
Oh.
So less,
Higher or lower on that?
higher or lower?
That's a tough one.
That is
Because
a tough one.
I personally don't like my voice.
I don't like the sound of mine either.
That's 66. So that's a 66% right there.
I'm gonna have to go a little higher than 34.
A little higher. You are correct, Les.
On the dot?
Les, it was actually 39 out of 100
Okay.
actually like the sound of their own voice.
Yeah.
Les, you're up 1-0.
Hey, man.
This question
it's a fluke. Let's go.
goes to you.
All right.
All right. Now, this is one that none of us should know since we're all married men, but
I knew I was going to fail.
We asked 100 single men, are you on more than one dating app?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, they are.
How many said yes? Out of 100 men, how many said they're on more than one dating app?
65.
76.
Ooh, so you went higher right off the bat.
I'm afraid of
The answer is actually 32.
Hey,
you're up.
It was still double my number. But that's a come on. They're just not being honest.
All right, Les.
All right.
This is your opportunity.
This is the clinch.
This could be the first time you have ever in the history of this show, 5 seasons. This will be the first time that you have ever swept somebody. This could be it. This could be it.
Making. This could be
right
it
here.
But I like James.
No pressure.
James.
No pressure.
I like James.
All right.
Let's go.
Questions back to you, James. We asked 100 single men. If an attractive woman offered to take you on a 5-star dream vacation, but you barely knew her, would you go? How many said they would go?
72.
Jesus, that's high. Okay, 99.
I'm single.
I don't know anybody that would turn that down. I was in that situation at one point, but I wasn't quite single.
But
I was dating, but but I wasn't quite single, and I had to turn it down because I was actually dating. But the actual answer is 67.
James won it. James got that.
So the sweep is done.
I didn't want to
but
sweep.
You can
them.
still close it out.
I like James. I'm going to close you out right here.
It's 2-1. The question is back to you. This might be right up your alley.
Let's go.
It involves. Oh well, maybe not. This involves 100 bartenders.
You used to be up my alley, but okay.
Have you ever given out a fake number? Just to get a flirty customer to leave you alone? How many said they have?
70%.
Okay.
All right, James, you got to think hard now. Higher or lower than 70%? How many has said that they have given out a fake number to get somebody to leave them alone?
62.
James, you have tied this game up. The answer is 67. He went lower. The answer is 67. We are tied 2-2. Now the next question can win the game.
All right,
James. The pressure's on. Winner take all.
I'm listening. I'm real close. I'm intense with it.
The question's to you, James. We asked 100 people. Do you think it is stupid to applaud in a movie theater? How many said yes? I remember going to see Star Wars, and guys were applauding in.
So why are you helping? Why are you helping?
I'm not helping. I'm not helping. I just remember seeing it. I didn't say whether I thought it was stupid or not, but I
They
remember
said
seeing it.
they said it was an appropriate to, right? Was that the
No,
correct
do
verbiage?
you think it is stupid
Oh, to clap in the
that
movie theater.
if you to
You know
applaud
how
in the
good the
movie
movie
theater?
has to be for me to clap? I mean, really, do you know how good the movie has to be for me to clap? I mean, 75.
Mm,
Oh,
less, higher or lower than 75 for the win.
it's got to be higher.
Less, I'm sorry, my friend. It is lower. The answer
Oh,
is 45. Oh, that
really?
45, really?
45.
I
Because
don't know
at
what.
the others are the ones that actually applaud. So they all said, no, it's not stupid. Because I definitely thought it was stupid. I'm in that 45 category. I
I'm
was
in the
like, look at
45
these
category, and
idiots.
I don't understand it. What are these fools clapping for? It's a movie.
Yeah, it's like soon as the opening credits for Star Wars came on, everyone was, oh.
Congratulations on your win. So, yeah. So, how did you develop the plot on this book?
Well, it was actually hard because I I had set so many rules for myself, which
Mhm.
I'm not used to. I'm not used to setting rules. You know, I mean, I'm used to like, okay, whatever happens to most of these characters is going to happen. There may be one or two people I'm not going to kill, like for sure. Everybody else is on the chopping board. But you know, being that it's something of a prequel, you know, it's like okay, so I'm
That just caught me. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna kill you. Everybody else.
Yeah.
but I
Sorry. Okay. It just caught me.
But no, it not only so like okay, like in Valentine Carlo, you know, I did have some characters where it's like I'm not gonna kill this person. Like
Mhm.
and it's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna be a challenge. Like I know this person's not gonna go. But this one was harder because, you know, Valentine Carlo takes place afterward. So guess who makes an appearance in Melody of Shattered Gold and is not going to die, I can promise you. Johnny
Yeah.
Carlo.
Mhm. Right.
And just and there was another reference in the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, which I will not talk about, but
Mhm.
pay, if you read the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, there was one character that it was mentioned that they had. Not gonna say it. I'm trying not to give away any hints. I don't want to ruin this for anybody. But anybody who's seen the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, they'll hear a reference about a certain character, and then so when they read the Melody of Shattered Gold, they may have an idea of what's going to happen a little bit. And I had to keep up with that rule. So I said, okay, that's going to happen. How is it going to happen? Um, and what else was it? It was just, you know, it was also, you know, like creating the prequel. I think, like, I remember when, like, when I was writing this book, I remember when the Lord of the Rings trilogy came out, and then The Hobbit came after that. And
Mhm.
people who had seen both trilogies kind of said, a lot of them said that The Hobbit was a little bit underwhelming compared to the original trilogy. I really wanted to make sure that this book really held its water compared to the Ballad of Johnny Carl. That it wasn't a step down. That it really did the Johnny Carlo universe justice. Um, And oh, man, I mean, I really had no idea what was going to happen. There were so many different things that occurred, so many changes that, so many different character chemistries I didn't see coming. Um, and I mean, I think this took me about a year to write or so.
Mm.
I was really nervous because, you know, I knew this book was going to be longer than Ballad of Johnny Carlo. Ballad of Johnny Carlo is 520 pages. Melody
Yeah.
of Shattered Gold's at about 580 pages right now.
Mhm.
And my biggest worry was, how am I going to keep somebody's attention? That's a long book.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I keep something so epic and something that can really keep somebody's interest? I like to think I pulled it off very well. So, also, kind of keeping the setting in one general area, New York City. There really wasn't much change. The different boroughs. Brooklyn, Manhattan. There's even a little bit of time in Long Island, and I think the Bronx too, Staten Island. Did I do anything in Queens? I think I did. But yeah, so like keeping it in one setting. In Battle Johnny Carlo, I could just throw it all around. Now, we're in New Orleans. We're in New York. We're in Boston. We're traveling, guys.
Right.
And this one, it's just the setting is a little bit more static. So I really had to kind of work with that. While, again, also keeping the story interesting, keeping people really engrossed in the novel. And I think I really pulled it off well. There was a lot of changes I had to do. Certain whole scenes I had to delete, which I'd never had to do before, just to kind of keep the flow going. Yes, sticking with the rules, that was very hard for me. Again, Johnny Carlo, his best friend Vincent, Aurora, Dominic, they kind of had this golden circle of protection. They had plot armor, as I like to call it. They're because again, they're in the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, so it's like they didn't die. Maybe they coded. They might have coded, but they didn't like stay dead.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I've been trying to throw a question in here, and I've been sitting on mute. Let me ask you this, because you brought up with being in New York, and you're a Michigan guy. So how much did you have to research like New York, or to keep the authenticity for like somebody who may pick up the book for who is a New Yorker? Like, oh yeah, that's familiar. That's the way, that's the vibe, that's the feel of New Yorker for someone who may have grown up and been there all of their life.
That's a very good question. Definitely a lot of references. With my books, I really make sure that you really follow the characters. That's kind of like my deepest, most detailed part of my writing is really the personality of the characters and how that can change. I did a little bit of research just for authenticity, with weather, with knowing which which neighborhoods they're going into. If they're going into this, like, if I say, oh, this is a really wonderful neighborhood in this borough, and somebody says that place is a hellhole.
Sucks,
And at the same time, I know that certain areas are not going to turn them into a war zone. If you ask somebody and they say, oh, that's where all the rich and famous live, they don't really shoot people. So I did enough to keep, to make sure to stay consistent. But again, I had already done research with New York City with the Ballad of Johnny Carlo, because that was the main secondary setting of the story. So I did have to, especially with like traffic and realistic life. I said, okay, it took this guy 20 minutes to drive from here to here. It's like, a New Yorker says, no, that would take 2 hours at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd take him 20 minutes. So I had to backtrack a couple times and say, hold on, or like, yeah, he's heading south to the Bronx. Wait, no, he's not. The Bronx is north of him. Why did I put that? Hold on, let me switch that up. Darn you, autocorrect. It's not. I didn't say south. I said north, but.
Well, that's a good thing that you caught yourself. But I have one last question for me. So you've been writing for several years now, and we already kind of talked about you evolving a little bit and in each of your books and stuff like that. But where do you see your work going next? You're going to do some sci-fi. You're going to do some romantic novels. What's next?
You kind of hit the nail on the head, or at least you threw the dart pretty close to the bullseye. I'm writing my 7th book right now, as I'm editing my 6th book.
Okay.
And it does have the crime thriller element, but it's a love triangle between this woman and a married couple, but they're all involved. So it's not two are in love and one doesn't know. It's everybody's in love.
Everybody knows. Are they a part of the
Everybody's in
familia?
love, and they
Are they a
don't know
part of the
how
family?
involved everybody else is. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, you're on mute, bro. But are they a part of the family?
Are they part of the Johnny Carlo universe or no?
I don't know yet.
There you go. You can't drop a bombshell like that and then tell us you don't know. Come
It's
on.
also my first book that's going to take place in Michigan.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Which is fun for me. It's like, oh, hey, I know that area.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there used to be some old mobsters in Michigan called the Purple Gang, so you could go back a little bit.
So the big question is, when is the release date for the new book?
That's a very good question. So I'm on the editing phase for the Melody of Shattered Gold is almost done. I don't like to tell people when it's coming out before the editing process is totally done. Right. But I think it was July. I'm going to shoot for early October, late September, early October. Just enough time to kind of get everybody hungry for it. And really, I want to make sure that this thing is perfect before it comes out.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, we look forward to it.
This book is going to be on Amazon as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're running out of time in this episode, but how can people connect with you and follow you online?
You can follow me at Facebook.com/JamesTheRealMike, Instagram.com/James E. Michels, TikTok.com/@JamesRealMike, Twitter.com/@JamesRealMike, and YouTube at James Michels Books. Again, that is Michels without an A in my last name.
That's awesome.
And you can also check them down on my Amazon author page.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, James, as always, man, we always enjoy having you on, and we're definitely going to have you on when you do the 7th one.
Yeah, because now I'm invested in that one now. You know what I mean? I'm invested.
Before we go, should readers read the new book before they read Johnny Carlo? For someone who hasn't read that book yet, should they read this one first and then go into that one?
That's a very good question. I can say this, that both books really end pretty solidly. There's no cliffhangers. You can read either one of them in either order.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Cool.
Once again, hey, James, thanks for being a part of the show. We're definitely going to have you on again. And we got to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Manspace Podcast. As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. The word of the day is foundation. You see, our foundation is the bedrock upon which we build our lives, our dreams, and our purpose. It is the core of who we are, the beliefs and the values that sustain us, and the strength that keeps us grounded. But what is chipping away at your foundation? Life. Often it tries to erode this foundation. It could be negative self-talk that undermines your confidence. the toxic relationships that drain your energy, or even gossip that slowly wears you down over time. See, today I urge you to take a moment to assess your foundation. What are the things, either big or small, that are chipping away at your strength and resolve? Recognize those things and address them. Take action to reinforce your foundation. Build it with positivity, surround yourself with supportive people, and cultivate habits that nourish your soul. Remember, a strong foundation is the key to stability, resilience, and growth. It provides stability needed to weather life's storms, the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, and the growth to reach new heights. When we fortify our foundation, we create a space where we can thrive no matter what life throws in our way. So let's commit today to nurturing our foundation, strengthening it, and ensuring that nothing can shake the core of who we are. Keep building, keep growing, and most importantly, keep believing in the incredible strength that lies within you. Manspace Nation, your foundation is your greatest asset, and with it, you can withstand any storm and emerge even stronger. Stay grounded, stay inspired, and keep building your dreams on a foundation that's unshakable.
That was
that is key, building that foundation and making sure that nothing is chipping away at it. I mean, it's the little things, right? It's the little things that can always tear your foundation down, and you just got to make sure that you're solid, right?
That's it.
Do things, surround yourself with positivity, and do the things that nourish you and not detract away from you.
That's right. Hold your family up, hold them close, and keep them together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One crack could tear the whole thing down.
Yep. So, Manspace Nation, we want to thank James Michels with our very special guest today. When his new book comes out, we definitely will let you know on the show once the book is released, because we want everybody to go out and get that book and make sure you support. Go over to shop.themanspacepodcast.com, get you some fire, get you some desire, and get you some, say your line, Les.
We out of here.
T-shirts. And as we get ready to close out, I'm going to leave with this one word. Well, this one message rather than a word. But we are getting ready to enter the election season. So make sure you make an effort to get to the POLL poll and not the POLE poll, unless you're James Harden. And on that note,
we out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Man Space.
Whichever platform you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a show.
Remember to keep up with all the Manspace updates on our website, themanspacepodcast.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram at manspacenat1.
Until next time, Manspace Nation, he's Les, I am Russ, and we are out
of here.